Relationships can be our greatest source of pain. It's natural when you've experienced intimate injury to just want to avoid people altogether. I remember thinking in my recovery, I don't want to need anything from my husband. Really, I don't want to need anything from anybody. But that isolation only added to the sadness and loneliness that I was feeling. I see now that relationships and being in community, gathering with other hurting people, brought a lot of healing to my heart. And today I want to share 5 ways that I found healing in community. The very first one was at a women's conference back in 2004. That was a wake-up call for me, and there were princess skits. I know, I hear you groaning, but stick with me. That's what we did back then. So all these princesses are on stage before every session at the conference, and one of them, anytime something stressful happened, would collapse, fall to the set, and just lay there, sleep there for the rest of the scene. She was Sleeping Beauty. And it was hilarious because she did this every time. Sleeping Beauty was narcoleptic. And everybody was laughing, and I was laughing, and it really was hilarious. But the last session of the conference, something stressful happened. Sleeping Beauty collapsed, laid there on the stage through the rest of the scene. And I didn't laugh that time because I didn't see her. I saw me sleeping way too much, avoiding the reality of my life, just caving under the pressure. And I remember feeling like I had to wake up. It was time to wake up. I had been in denial far too long, and I knew I had to face the reality of my life. That conference was a gift to me. It was a wake-up call, and I knew it was time to rise up. I remember leaving that conference and going home from there to confront my husband, to say, we need help, you need help, and I can't pretend that I'm okay anymore. The second way that healing came to me in community was that a friend invited me to coffee. I remember sitting across from her under the green umbrella at Starbucks, and while she told the story of an emotional attachment in her marriage. And I saw her and I thought, she is on the other side of the pain that I am drowning in. And I just believed, hope rose up in my heart that day that if there was an other side for her, there was an other side for me. She told me about affair recovery and gave me the information. I went home that day like just buoyed and lifted by her story and believing that there was hope for my husband and I too. Another way healing came to me in community is I had a small group of friends who walked beside me during our recovery. My dear friend Lexi was a neighbor just 2 blocks away, and she watched our boys so we could go to therapy. That was huge. A lot of times I came home from therapy and I just sat on her sofa and she handed me tissues. And I was able to process through things, and it was practically helpful and then emotionally helpful as well. My coworker Anita was amazing. There were days I'd come home from work just exhausted, or come to work after therapy just exhausted and thinking, how am I supposed to do my job right now? There were times we just walked through the hallway of our office, and she helped me process. She sat with me in my pain, and then she helped me to keep moving. It was amazing. Then I remember my friend Kelly, how many times she talked me off the ledge, where I was just ready to quit, ready to give up, ready to just throw it all away, and really thinking pretending was better. And maybe I could keep pretending for the rest of my life. And she refused to let me go back to those old coping patterns. I don't know how I would have made it without those girls. Healing came to me in my Harboring Hope support group. It was a lifeline. It was hard to have to go through that and face what was happening in my home, but it was so great to do it with a group of women who are in the same boat. And it was such a gift to me to not have to explain myself and to just be able to know everybody else understands and they're feeling the same things I'm feeling, and we're going to get through this together. Lastly, one of the amazing ways that healing came to me was I attended a conference about a year and a half ago for betrayed spouses. I had no idea that such a conference existed, but I remember walking into the room in the morning and just feeling this amazing feeling like we're in this together. Yes, there's pain in this room. Yes, there's been suffering, but for the first time, I'm not alone. That conference was a great opportunity to just gather and connect without having to explain anything, without having to say, why you're upset or why you're crying. It was just a time to learn together, a time to learn from each other and lean on each other, and to discover that there really is a way through the pain of betrayal. I remember leaving that conference feeling just brave to take my next step on the journey and encouraged that I could even help someone else take their next step.